Hey, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another weekly wares video. If this is your first time finding my channel, my name is Gerard, and on this channel we are talking about fragrances. More importantly, the last 7 fragrances that I wore every day last week. So guys, if that is content that you want to see more, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are less than 100 people away from subscribing to hitting 14K. I couldn't be more ecstatic about that. When I first started the channel, I would never have expected to have this much support from you guys. It is truly appreciated. So again, if this is content that you want to see more of, you like talking about fragrances, be sure to subscribe. But without further ado, let's jump into the list, starting with Sunday. You know, this is one that I haven't reached for in a while. I've found myself wearing other fragrances that are similar to this DNA, and just kind of letting this one sit for a while. It's been a little while since I've worn it, and it is super hyped. At least it was at one time. It's more polarizing these days. I'll get into the reasons why I think so, but the scent we are talking about is Creed Aventus. Now, I wore this on a pretty casual Sunday, just out with some friends, and I'm not saying this in a bragging way, but I got a ton of compliments the day that I wore this. And I can understand why. This is such an amazing scent. And one of the reasons why, oh man, in the air, just incredible stuff. That pineapple, it's woody, it's a little bit smoky. It has this little vanilla touch. It's musky and masculine. When this first came out, there wasn't anything that smelled like it. It was an original DNA. To the point that people didn't like it initially because it's too smoky. I don't like the fruity smokiness. It was a very unique fragrance. It was new, sort of, to what was out or coming out around that time. Fast forward to this becoming a mega hit, and clone companies coming along, designer fragrances copying the scent DNA. It got to the point where this was just, the market was saturated with Aventus DNA. But I will say, this is one I've always stood by. I've always chosen this over the dupes and the clones. Yes, there are clones that smell similar. They can get you there, right? They can get compliments on their own. You don't pay as much money. But I don't understand the hate for this. Once I tried this and tested it for a while, I had grabbed a decant and I said, I want to own a bottle of that. It was as simple as that. It was worth it for me. And it's still worth it to me today. It's just an incredible fragrance. I know people talk about it not getting longevity or projection. It's bull. I mean, yes, the newer formulations, they take a little while to macerate. They take, this one in particular, I think this is a 2021 batch. Now everybody wants this batch. When I first bought this, nobody wanted them. Everyone's like, no, it's not the same. Ever since Creed sold the company, it's not the same. Look, you can talk for hours debating on whether or not Creed Aventus is worth it, but ultimately it's going to come down to you wearing it, you testing it, and deciding, is it worth it to you? That's it. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to anyone else's opinion. Try it for yourself. Grab a decant. I will link a decant down below along with the rest of these 7 fragrances, but just incredible stuff, and will always be in my collection as long as I have the means to be able to have it in the collection. So I can appreciate if you don't have the budget to keep it in your collection, then that's what it is. That's it. And that's where you draw the line. But for me, incredible fragrance, Creed Aventus. This next one was, as soon as I smelled it, I knew I needed a bottle. Scent we are talking about is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And I did a pretty detailed video on this one, whether or not it's still worth it. And you guys can check it out. I will link it here. Just the perfect balance of mint, tonka bean, mandarin orange. It's a little bit powdery. It's clean and fresh with the perfect amount of sweetness. I had to take my mom to doctor's appointments that Monday that I wore this, and it is one of those fragrances that you can wear in any situation. So typically you're thinking, well, I don't need to put on a cologne to go to the doctor's office. And normally I wouldn't, if I'm being honest, but with this, it's one of those ones that if I wear it, I feel safe in that I can pretty much find myself in any situation. It's not going to be offensive to anyone. People might enjoy it. This is one of those. It's impossible not to like, in my opinion. Now, this also gets some hate for longevity and performance. Not my experience with it. I think this one is subtle, yes, sits a little bit closer to the skin, projects really nicely for the first couple of hours, but it does sit a little bit closer to the skin where you just smell put together, clean, upscale. And it's Chanel, and the quality is there, and that's all you need to know. The perfumer on this is an absolute legend, Jacques Polge. You really can't go wrong. Yes, you're gonna pay a little bit more money, but in terms of Chanel fragrances, it's on the more affordable Chanel end. It's, you know, it's not one of their exclusives or exclusive line fragrances. And you can walk into any Macy's and test this. Have them spray it on your skin, walk around the store, see if you like it, see what you think of it. You think if it's overrated, don't buy it. If you like it, pick it up. Chanel Allure Sport Eau Extreme. Okay, well, we kicked off the week with a couple expensive fragrances. This one is an underrated cheapie. Scent we are talking about is Chopard's 1000 Miglia, or 1000 miles, the English translation. And I guess the inspiration behind this is a road race that takes place in Italy every year. Man, this one is a solid cheapie. I really, really like what they did here. And it has this unique note up top. They call it asphalt in the note breakdown. Has this kind of hot rubbery smell, like if you were like spinning your tires on a hot pavement or something. It's not for everyone, but that dissipates pretty quickly. Maybe 10 minutes in, it dissipates. I personally like it. I think it adds this intrigue to the scent that makes it interesting, makes it more dynamic, have a little more depth to it. Really, it comes across as fresh, aromatic, a little bit powdery. It has this warm amberiness to it in the base, which is really nice. This is like if you mixed Polo Sport with Armani Code. You smash those two together, you come up with this, and I love it. I think the performance here is really good too. So especially for the usually sub $20, sub $30 price point you're going to pay for this, you're getting really good longevity. It projects nicely. I was getting wafts of this throughout the day. It's pretty casual. You can wear this really in any situation. I'd wear this to the office and casually out with friends. It works in that sense, but you know, date night, maybe not, but I guess it could work there too. It's pretty versatile. Chopard 1000 Miglia. Great scent. I did a first impressions video of this next fragrance. I couldn't have been more pleased with this blind buy thanks to you guys. You guys always come through for me. And when you have an idea that I might like something, I mean, you guys are batting 1,000. Scent we are talking about is Bohemian Lime from Goldfield and Banks. I got this at a really great price. I want to say this is a niche brand, but they're not challenging. There's nothing really particularly unique about these fragrances. They just smell fantastic. Really nice presentation, great atomizer, great juice, high quality. This is a citrus bomb with some musk, woods. I can't wait for like the really hot summer days because I'm going to find myself wanting to wear this pretty much every day. That's how likable this is. It has this peppery, slightly sweet effervescence to it, almost like a mojito or a drink. And you kind of feel like you're on vacation wearing this one. Super casual. Although you could wear this to work, you could wear this anywhere, school. It's really versatile in that sense. So that's one reason why I love it. I don't get the comparison to Aventus. I guess some people think this smells like Aventus. I personally don't get it. But yeah, just a really beautiful citrus fragrance that any guy can pull off. Dare I say unisex? I mean, there's nothing particularly masculine about it. I will say that it probably gets more masculine in the dry down with some of those woods and musks. I got decent longevity as well. Really surprising longevity for a citrus fragrance. Will you fill a room? Absolutely not. Although the day that I sprayed it in my office, it kind of stuck around for a little while. So I had left, did a couple errands, came back, and I could still smell it in the air. So yeah, this is good stuff. Bohemian Lime from Goldfield and Banks. Hopefully you guys caught my last rack store pickup. If you haven't, I will link the video here. I ended up grabbing 3 dupes from this brand that I had never heard of. Scent we are talking about is Mimic 79. And this one is cloning Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I paid $19.99 for this at Marshall's. And I gotta say, guys, the quality here, in terms of how close it is to the actual scent, I'm really impressed with. The only thing that is less to be desired is the performance. This is an eau de parfum concentration, but the performance is not great. It's not terrible. So, but being this cheap and smelling this good, not too synthetic, you can wear this, you can spray this, can keep this in your car, keep spraying as the day goes on. I thought these were body mists. I know a lot of you guys did too. Looking at the bottles at the case, I immediately thought, it's for like, girls spraying their hair or something after they get out of the shower, but not the case. This is an actual eau de parfum concentration in this kind of hairspray body mist type bottle. So don't let that fool you. It fooled me for a little while. This one, really nice. I love Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I had smelled it a couple times and I said, I really like that scent. It's a little too feminine for me personally. But what this brand does, it seems that they focus on unisex fragrances, which I would still categorize this as unisex. Just maybe not something I would reach for personally that often. I will say though, this is very similar. The cherry here, that fruitiness that I get from this is very close to Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. So it reminded me of that scent. It doesn't smell exactly like it, but it did remind me of it. It doesn't have the leather that fragrance has and some of those more masculine edges to it. I still like this one. So I think you guys should definitely check these out. Luckily, they're at your rack stores. You can try them usually. I found this one in the line on the way out of the store. So not bad. Go check out that video. Mimic 79 from Fragrance Laboratories. Check it out. I did a list not too long ago of some of my favorite discontinued fragrances, and I plan on doing more of those. One of the hardest things as a content creator is, especially in this fragrance space, is determining whether or not I want to talk about fragrances that you guys can't get your hands on, because I understand, money's a concern. Sometimes some of these things aren't worth what people are selling them for, even though it's been discontinued and it's an incredible fragrance. Sometimes they're charging 2, 3, 4 times as much as it originally retailed for. Most of the time it's absolutely ridiculous and they're not worth that price. Now, with this one, I might say that it is probably worth a little more than what the original retail is, because it's incredible. It's my favorite from the line. Scent we are talking about is Polo Red Extreme. Mandarin orange and coffee. And oh man, this stuff, guys, it was a little cooler on the day that I wore it. And I said, you know what? I haven't worn that in a little bit. Let me reach for that. Just amazing fragrance. And this was kind of in my mind because I had recently tried the newest release from John Varvatos, XX Intense. And that reminded me of this. They have similarities. Do they smell exactly the same? No. This definitely carries the Polo Red DNA that I didn't necessarily get in the John Varvatos. It had its own thing going on. But just the way those fruity citruses, the sweeter citruses are used in that scent, along with the coffee note, reminded me of this. So even the bottle, to some degree, the color scheme. So I think that's kind of what they were going for, if I'm being 100%. I think they might have said, look, this is a really popular fragrance well, who knows? I don't know if John Varvatos is thinking that deeply about it, but I would copy this. I mean, it's that good. And if Polo decides they're not making it anymore, I would say, there's a hole in the market that people want filled. So this is that. Incredible scent. Absolutely love this one. I get pretty good longevity from it as well. So why they discontinued this makes no sense, but I absolutely love it. Polo Red Extreme. Finally, on Saturday, I reached for a fragrance that I was just recently telling my friend Danny, who sent me this bottle. So kind of him to send this to me. Thank you, Danny. Again, I can't thank you enough. It means so much to me. I'm so appreciative of it. I told him, I said, most days I want to reach for this. Most days I'm telling myself, don't wear it. You got to try everything in your collection, wear everything in your collection. And it's so effortless. Scent we are talking about is Ralph Lauren's Purple Label. And I love this bottle. I love that color. I just realized that 2 of my favorite Ralph Lauren fragrances are on this list. Guys, this stuff, absolutely amazing. Worst part about this scent is the atomizer. But in the air, this is so aromatic. It has sage. It has some other herbal notes to it. It's a little fruity. It is class in a bottle, musky, woody, subtle, unassuming. This feels like a second skin to me, which is why there are certain fragrances that, for me, I don't care as much about them projecting like beasts, filling rooms, turning heads. You just want to be subtle, unassuming, but know that you are confident and have your crap together. That's what this scent personifies for me. It's amazing. And it's their best, in my personal opinion. From everything I've tried from the house, it's their absolute best. And I think you can get this for around 125 for the 100 ml. So worth it. For a long time, this was hard to come by. It's harder to find. But for me, that's so worth it. You're going to think that performance isn't great, but again, for me, it's a more of a subtle flex. It just is. And amazing fragrance. I think that you could wear this to your wedding. You could wear this to an important event, something that means a lot to you. This is signature worthy. Beautiful fragrance. One of the best in my collection. Absolutely love it. Purple Label from Ralph Lauren. That's it, guys. All 7 fragrances that I wore every day last week. We had some expensive niche. We had some underrated, slept on cheapies. We had some discontinued gems. Fantastic week, in my opinion. Would love to know what you guys wore last week. As always, drop it in the comment section down below. I always love hearing what you guys are wearing. But if you like today's video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.